Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It is Vlogmas Day 15, and if you watched Vlogmas Day 14, you would have saw me do part 1 of this half up, half down hairstyle. Now we're on part 2. So I do not like gluing hair in my hair anymore. I feel like it's a pain in my butt when it's time to take it down. So that's why I chose to sew my hair in. This is a 22-inch and a 20-inch hair bundle of Brazilian straight hair. I like to do my first stitch, just pull it straight through, and then on my second stitch, when I stitch it, I like to double knot it. Y'all, when I'm stitching my braids on my own, I go from the top, then pull it through. Normally when I'm doing like a sew-in or doing someone else's hair, I go from the bottom, but because, you know, my arms hurt and I get, you know, you get tired, you get fatigued. So it's always best for me to just go from top to bottom. Y'all, I'm sorry, I'm tired. Like, it's been 2 weeks of me uploading every day straight to YouTube. This is it's harder than I thought. And this hairstyle was harder than I thought as well. But, yeah, so after I do double stitches, I do that all the way through on my tracks. I did choose to lay these tracks straight across. I did not loop them or anything like that. I also did not cut any of my tracks just because I knew I want to use this hair again. This hair is very, very, very soft, very silky. It is darker than my hair. I have naturally brown hair, and I chose not to dye my hair anymore, so it just won't match bundles. It doesn't bother me. I really don't care. So yeah, as I was saying, I stitch it going from the top to the bottom. The first track, I just stitch it like at the kind of like underneath the braids at the bottom row, at the bottom of the braids. It creates like a stronger foundation because I don't use a net as well on my sew-ins because I tend to like pull my hair too tight, and sometimes when you go to the shop, it's like they get it just perfectly, but me on my own, I feel like I have to like pull it tighter than it needs to be, and it causes a lot of tension in my head and it gives me headaches. But whenever I go to the shop, for some reason they just do it like correct, but whenever I do it, I don't know if I'm in a rush or what the case may be, but it just hurts. But as you can see here, as I mentioned earlier, I flipped all of my tracks and I use the same method. I stitch it 2 loops and then I pull it straight through. I don't cut any of it because to me it seems like this hair is like really good quality, and I want to make sure that after I'm done with this hairstyle I can reuse it all over again. So I just do the same thing. Also, I'm pulling the track not under the thread. I'm not pulling it under the track, I'm pulling it through because I don't have a net. I'm also doing this on my own, so I really can't see what's going on. So I need to make sure that it is as tight and as strong as possible. Now, I did that all the way through to the back of, to the top of my head. Once I finished the 22-inch bundle, I had moved on to my 20-inch bundle, and that's when I started cutting the tracks because I wanted the top tracks to be as flat as possible, and I didn't want them folded. Now, I think I only had to cut about 3 or 4 tracks. I'm not really 100% sure. It wasn't a lot, I know that much, because I don't want to waste hair. So yeah. And then I had a little cuddle break with LJ because Lord knows he was bothering me this whole time. This is actually my first time trying this hairstyle. I've been wanting to do it on other people, but yeah, my options in Georgia are limited. I can't do Lily and her daughter's hair every week. But yeah, so once I got to the top, I started doing cut tracks straight across. Now the last track that's gonna go and cover up all the tracks underneath, I am going to glue that down. It is the track that's in between the last sewed on track and my hair. I just glue it down. I used a little bit of glue. It wasn't that much glue. Now, after I get my glue on and I put it in place, I did blow dry it. I can't remember if I showed that part, but I do blow dry it just to make sure that it stays down and it's tight and it doesn't move. So that's basically the whole back part of this hairstyle. Now I just make sure I'm checking my line, and I noticed a few things was wrong, but after I fixed it, that's when I started going in the front of my hair, and I started separating my Bantu knots to make sure that they were all even. Not only even, but make sure the parts were straight. I wasn't too much worried about the bang because it's a bang. It's going to cover up most of that area anyway. I just wanted to make sure I had the top part section off before I started flat ironing and hot combing the back of my hair to get it as straight as possible. Now, like I said, the colors don't blend because I'm no longer in the mood to put any type of dye or temporary dye on my natural hair anymore. I'm just not doing it. It causes more harm than it does good. And I get it, it will help the hair blend better into the weave, but I don't really care. Like, it doesn't bother me. As long as my hair is straight and it looks good, then I'm fine. Now I'm going to go in and start forming my Bantu knots. It's just some hair shine, hair polish. First, I hot comb and then I flat iron. I did the same thing that I did in the back. I did it in the front. And not only did I do it on this Bantu knot, I did it on all of my Bantu knots. And then I put my rubber band in and just to secure everything up. And I repeated the same process over and over again. I did the hair shine first, and then I went in with my hot comb in the front section, back section, and then I went in with my flat irons. It seems like they're hot, but I promise they're not that hot. And then I put my rubber band in. Now, after I got all of my rubber bands in, that's when I started flat ironing my bang. I didn't really show this whole part, y'all, because I forgot to press record, even though the camera was on. My bad. It's nothing important. I just flat ironed it, hot combed it, and clipped it down so I can start using my Eben spray. It's the black bottle to form my Bantu knots. I mean, not to even form them, but to make sure that the ponytails were not going anywhere, basically. So I did use hair shine and I used my Eben hairspray, and I just went in and started molding my buns, if you want to call it. And then I used some good old Pump It Up just to make sure that they are secured and in place. Y'all, I need this to last me a few days, okay? And then I blow dry each Bantu knot. And then I went in and started doing my bang. I glued my tracks in and I blow dried it. And I did that all the way through. I put the glue on, measured each track, glued it down, blow dried it throughout the entire bang. Now, I don't mind having glue on my bang because, like I said, it's not on my hair. It's on my scalp. And then after I put the last track in, I flat ironed it. And I started cutting my bang. Y'all, this is why I went wrong with my bangs. I cut it too short. I cut my bang too short, y'all. Too short, but it's okay. I clipped it up. And then I started doing my Bantu knots in the meantime before I curled my bang. This part was pretty simple. I just rubber band the hair down into the braiding hair. And then I just started twisting it and then made sure I kept the Bantu knot as far as away from the bottom of the rubber band as possible because I needed the Bantu knot to be standing up tall. I actually did the full knot in this clip right here just so y'all could see what I'm talking about. Y'all, this made my arms hurt. This made me want to stop the hairstyle. At this point, my arms were spaghetti. I was tired and I just kept pushing through to make sure I got the hairstyle looking right. And as you can see, every time the Bantu knot goes up, you can see my hand adjusting the top of the knot to make sure that it's the same height as all of the other two knots that I did before this one. Now, I did put a little bit of hairspray at the end. I just didn't show that part, but I did, put some hairspray there just to secure it. The Bantu knots on my sides are larger than the ones, has more braiding hair than the ones in the middle, just because my hair is thinner on the sides. But ultimately, they all look the exact same. I'm just twisting the knots, making sure it's even, doing the same technique that I did with the knot before, just pulling it, making sure everything looks good. Now I'm going to go in with my flat irons and curl my hair. Y'all, I'm so sad I had to get new flat irons because, like I told y'all in another video, these were broken, but it's okay. As you can see, my hair still came out right, but this is when I noticed that I cut my bang too short. But it's okay because once the curls drop, I'll just make sure that I don't curl my hair as tight. So that way the bang can be longer. But after a while, I was just like, forget it. It's time for me. Let me just do my edges because LJ was ready to go to Chuck E. Cheese. And if I continued to play with my hair, we were never going to get out the door. So I just did this little swoop. This is all I know how to do. You probably didn't see this hair right here in the other clips because I have hair that grows on my head, on my face. But you don't see it unless I like gel it down or something. It's weird. And then I took my Sebastian Shaper Hair Plus and sprayed my hair down. Y'all, this is the final look. I actually like the way it turned out. I wish I would have left less hair out in the back, but it's okay because it still came out cute. I may just end up putting the back in a ponytail. Yeah, I had to put my glasses on because y'all know I'm blind. Yeah, you know, adding some final touches before I head out the door. Y'all, I'm giving y'all some side views of the hair. It's so pretty. I love it. This is new, fun, exciting. I like it. If y'all can give me some suggestions about what y'all want to see next, just let me know. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.